Hey fellas, your commissioner here, coming at you for a little first video of the year, week zero of the Bring That Wood Fantasy Football League. Have some improvements. I hope everybody can hear me. Looks like it's on. Got a new little microphone for the season. So we'll go through that. Don't have the good camera yet. I got these little doodads because I have a Mac. So, hey, no, don't mess with that. Come here. He doesn't want to get in the video. Here's Loki. He's getting big, as you can see, much bigger than the first video he was in last year. And hey, Cleo, come here.
I'll hold her.
Cleo's here. She's big. She's fat. She likes to eat.
My baby.
Come here. And here's Brody.
Ugh.
So family's all here, as you can see. Brody's looking cute as ever. I see Dexter copied him. He got a cut. He got the Brody cut. Little shortcut. And of course Erica, even though no one requested her to be in the video, here she is. She's right here. So anyways, yeah, these little doodads, I can't fit two of these into my MacBook at the same time. So I had to buy a different adapter. It'll arrive tomorrow, but I'm a man of my word. I said that the video would be ready before noon tomorrow, so we're doing it. There's Loki again. All right, so another successful draft in the books. Nashville, nothing to write home about, in my opinion. I tell you, if you love live music, that's the place for you. If you want to hear the same 10 to 15 songs on maximum volume for hours and hours, no matter where you go, no matter what time of day, Nashville's your place. So it was fine. I enjoy hanging out with the boys. The house was middle tier draft house, only saved by the backyard. But we'll get back on track next year. Despite that, I do think that it was probably one of our best drafts I think we've ever had. Some of the best keepers we've ever had across the board, apart from two owners. We'll get into that. As you can see here, I've got some new decor for the whole season right here. Not going anywhere. I'm leaving that up for maybe some quick reference during the season. And maybe just as a way to check how people's teams change throughout the year. Boy, that sticker placement for the last one on Duncan was just a gem, wasn't it? And I see all those little rip marks up there. That was from Duncan too. So, good job, buddy. But anyway, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get this recap underway. We'll start off. Of course, it's been a couple years since we've had some controversy with the draft order, and add the Titans and Fox and stuff. Add Monday Night Football, add Fox, add Thursday Night Football, add the playoffs, add CBS, add Sunday night.
That's already added. The only one that's not added is the KFC.
Add the Titans.
I don't see no.
Keep scrolling over to the right.
Why we gotta? Oh, cause that's your new favorite team now. Well, can I add some teams? Raven.
Sure. It's unlimited DVR, YouTube TV, no free ads. A little bit of controversy, of course, with the draft order. Basically, we had two groups, and they had two different sets of rules. My grouping played with the common sense approach of if there's a massive puddle on the course that isn't normally there, why would you try to play out of it rather than move it out of it? Free relief happens in real golf all the time. And the mulligan, you redo one shot out of 18 holes, out of 40 some odd, 50 some odd, 70 some odd shots for some of you. Don't listen to your commissioner. Whatever. The group that did, they did. So the group that didn't, they didn't. So it is what it is. It wouldn't have mattered. My putt game was it was in another realm from the rest of y'all on Friday. 1 week ago today, actually. It wouldn't have mattered what you did. It really wouldn't have mattered because I wasn't even hitting in the water because I'm just that damn good at mini golf. This is my shit. I run this shit. I didn't come up with this idea purposefully because I know that I would probably dominate. And I did dominate, and I ended up with pick 101. All right, the curse of the 101. Slight rebranding since the draft after I've got my guys. Curse of the 101. Let's ride. Bring that Wood Nation.
Let's ride.
Bring that Wood Nation.
Let's ride.
Bring that Wood Nation.
Let's ride.
All right, of course, Russell Wilson is my QB. My two keepers were DeAndre Swift in the 3rd and James Conner in the 10th. Spoil of riches here by getting 101. If I was a little bit later down in the draft, probably would have taken Adams, but went CMC, and then I picked up another 2 guys, Cordero and Khalil Herbert. Wasn't really planning on maybe only taking one other running back, but I did remember what happened last year. I was watching the recap video for last year's draft during work today because I'm a good steward of your government dollars. Of course, this was on break. Okay, this was during lunch, but I saw Blaine. Right, Blaine had 3 elite running backs to start the season. Only drafted one other running back, and then J.K. Dobbins goes down, and his running back room doesn't look so good anymore. During that video, I also realized that, holy shit, were my wide receivers bad last year. They were... it's a miracle that I even made it close to the playoffs and wasn't just a downright, straight-up horse ass. Thank God for Jalen Hurts. Thank God for Swift, Chubb, saving me, because my receivers last year were Calvin Ridley, they were Curtis Samuel, they were Laviska Shenault, they were Mecole Hardman, and who was the other guy who was actually somewhat decent? I don't remember, but just from those 4 alone, terrible. I mean, that's a bottom tier roster, probably the worst receiving core I've ever drafted, anybody's ever drafted. This year, I do have Sutton, Gabriel Davis, Michael Thomas, Christian Kirk, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Nico Collins. Throw a few darts out there towards the end with Wan'Dale and Nico. Oh, also Nick Westbrook-Akine. Pretty much cut bait. At least 2 of the 3 of those after week 1. You need that on your team. You need guys that you can just inevitably people are going to pop on week 1 that weren't drafted. They're going to come out of nowhere, and you don't want to be sitting there with your pud in your hand not being able to cut anybody because you're waiting to see if they're going to pan out. So, but a little bit of a redemption team. That's what I like to refer to this team as. Breaking the curse of the 101. Optimistic Laz, Optimistic Kamish is here. He's here to stay. He's not going anywhere. Christian McCaffrey is going to be healthy this year. He's going to be back to his form. Sutton's going to get back on track. Michael Thomas is going to get back on track. Russell Wilson's going to get back on track. I used to draft Cordero every year whenever he was a wide receiver for the Vikings, and he let me down every time. But guess what? He's back. He's a running back now, but he still catches passes. He is going to be my guy. I really think that this team has a lot of potential. I think this team has a lot of potential. Pat Freiermuth is my tight end as well. Almost forgot to mention him. He's a guy that I was really targeting late in drafts pretty much everywhere. He had one of the best rookie seasons for any tight end of all time. I think it's a solid team. The running backs are hard to compete against. Easily, just scrolling through the board here, I don't think before the season starts, I don't think that you could argue anybody has a better running back room than I do right now. Of course, a lot can change over the course of the season. Some unproven, don't really have at least right now, a proven elite option as a wide receiver 1 alpha. I really hope that A.J. Brown would have fallen to me at 212. But, of course, knowing Nick and his little tricks, that wasn't going to happen. Because even if he took Keenan, his guy, Savoy probably would have taken A.J. Brown. So, but I like it. I'm all in on Gabriel Davis. I'm bought into the hype. I've got him in pretty much every league I'm in, except I think I have him in every league that I'm in, to be honest. I'm in 5 leagues right now so far. I've got him in every single one, I believe. All in on him. I think Michael Thomas can get back to form. Kirk can be a little PPR monster. And, I think this draft is one of my better in years. I'm looking to get back on track. Redemption team, I'm going to break the curse. Going to break the curse of a streak of, well, it's not really a streak because I made the playoffs a couple years ago, but a streak of not really being a serious competitor in the league. The times are over. I've started to dive back into the research world, and I think it's paying dividends already. So I'm going to give this draft a solid, I got to give it an A-. The back half, 11 through 14, not really sold on, but I really love that 1 through 10. There's really nothing, looking at it, there's really nothing that I would do differently as far as picking different players than what I picked. So outside, like I said, maybe towards the end of the draft, but all those are dart throws at that point anyway. So yeah, I'm going to give myself an A-. I really like this team. Much different tune than where I was last year with that C grade and just an average, mediocre team, and that's what it ended up being. So I called my team right last year. I think I'm going to call my team right again this year. So moving on to our second team, the EDP 445 all-girls school. I think he rebranded Youth Girl Academy or something like that. He'll change his team name at least half a dozen times before the season's over. So not really going to be sold on that. Not really going to talk about it. But his keepers, where was his keepers? Can somebody remind me what his keepers were? Does anybody know? Oh, that's right. He kept nobody. He pulled a Josh Ford from a few years ago. I think that's only the second time in league history that an owner has elected to keep 0 players from the previous season. And honestly, that was probably the best bet for Savoy to do. Because he was able to build a pretty solid team, at least leading up to the 9th round. You have the supercharger stack. And now go Chargers, go! Of Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, 3 of his first 4 picks. His running backs are Eckler, Dobbins, James Robinson, Jamal Williams, and Zamir White. So let me finish getting through his roster before I'm getting ahead of myself. His wide receivers, Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, Chris Olave, Jameson Williams, Christian Watson, and Odell Beckham. And then his quarterbacks are Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, with his tight end being TJ Hawkinson. So, like I said, once you hit 9th round, to take Jameson Williams in the 9th round, a guy probably won't play the first half of the season. To take Jamal Williams, number 10, irrelevant player, unless DeAndre Swift gets hurt, which he is injury prone, so I don't hate that at that pick. Christian Watson, literally I've heard nothing about, but whatever, it's late. Deshaun Watson will miss almost the entire regular season except for 1 game, but he's got Herbert. That's a pick for next year. Could have taken him with his very last pick. It wouldn't have made a damn difference. Zamir White probably won't sniff the field this year despite Josh Jacobs' troubles. And then Odell, who's not even on the team and probably won't be on the team until the end of fantasy season. So, and you can't really cut these guys because otherwise why even take them in the first place if you're not going to keep them? So really you're just clogging your roster spot hoping for keepers for next year. I mean, that's basically what Savoy did. Starting in the 9th round, pretty much every pick except for one was for next year. He said, you know what? I'm not going to be a laughingstock. I'm not going to be an embarrassment to this league. I'm going to get some keepers next year, even if it means that I repeat his horse ass this year. And he said that whatever, I won't win horse ass again. If I do, I'll be out of the league. It's tough. It's never been done. It's never been done, a repeat horse ass winner. So I doubt it. I mean, that Charger triple stack is good enough to win him plenty of games to get him 500, right where he belongs. Jeff Fisher of the league. But, you know, I don't know. I don't love Olave as his third wide receiver. I mean, he's got Thielen and Keenan Allen really as solid guys. That's a little discouraging, if you ask me. His RB2, oh my God. No, this team sucks ass, dude. This is a horse ass team.
So what?
Yes. I mean, he's really got to have Olave pop quickly. Because, I mean, James Robinson is working his way back from a torn Achilles. Jamal Williams is a running back 2. Jameer White's a running back 3 on his team. Jameson Williams won't be playing. Christian Watson, who knows? Odell's not playing. I think he put somebody, I think Jameson Williams, I think he put him on the IR and picked up Derek Carr or something like that. So, why? I don't know. Man, I mean, I love those first 4 picks. I mean, Dobbins was a little early, but it wasn't going to come back to him. And I mean, the running backs he would have to come back to at that point are, you know, Chase Edmonds, Clyde Elaire, Pollard, Kareem Hunt. You know, I mean, and Dobbins definitely has the top end talent over all those guys, but all those guys are going to be playing right away. Versus, you know, he passed up an opportunity to take a Waddle, Deontay Johnson. You know, I know he probably doesn't want Terry McLaurin or DK again, but yeah, I don't know. That was tough. That was a tough one for Savoy. He was in a tough spot there. I mean, yeah, because I don't know about Breece Hall. I mean, David Montgomery's probably a safer bet, but you don't win your league being safe. So he definitely took some risks. Those top guys are elite enough, I think, to win him some games, but it's going to be tough. I mean, the back end of his roster has a lot of work to do. And if guys pop out and prove themselves, then you know, more power to them. But I'm going to give Savoy a C-. Yeah, I'll give him a C-. So, not a playoff team. Not a playoff team, though, as currently constructed. Third, we got Razorback Revival. So here we're going to get into a stretch of, I think, everybody so Savoy and I are pretty much the only teams at this stage in the league who change their team name on a yearly basis, believe it or not. Everybody else is kind of sticking with what they've got the last few years, so good for them. Maybe I'll find something that sticks. Maybe it'll be this. If this wins me a championship, I'm going to stick with it, so I can promise you that. His running back situation, Dalvin Cook, Chase Edmonds, A.J. Dillon, Tyler Algier, and Darrell Henderson Jr. His keepers were A.J. Dillon and Michael Pittman. Great solid value there. God, I can't believe you got Henderson in the 13th round.
That's a great pick.
That's crazy to me. I mean, he's 1A, 1B to Cam Akers, so that's tremendous value there. His wide receivers are A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Chris Godwin, Garrett Wilson, Michael Pittman, Rondale Moore, Kenny Golladay, basically a wasted pick in Kenny Golladay. Same principle as what I explained earlier. That's a cut bait guy. You cut him right away. Don't even think twice about it. Rondale Moore, great, sneaky potential pop. He is a little bit banged up, though, undisclosed. Nobody knows what it is. But, I mean, you know, to have A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman as your top 3 wide receivers, that's pretty stout. Whenever Godwin gets back healthy from the ACL, should be great. And then you got a couple dart throws in Wilson and Rondale, who have the potential to be pretty excellent. So just kind of quickly scanning through here, probably one of the best wide receiver rooms. Definitely top 3. Yeah, maybe even top 2. Probably top 3. I think comfortably top 3 wide receiver room in the league. His quarterback Trey Lance got him basically where he could have kept him, so no harm, no foul there. And tight end is Dallas Goedert of the Philadelphia Eagles. I think a really solid draft from Nick. He's been really getting a lot better at this over the last couple of years. I'm really proud of him because I know it's certainly been a struggle for him as far as the draft goes, and that's why he hasn't been too successful. Been making the playoffs every year, but you're not winning in the playoffs any years. Haven't won since, when's the last time you won? Somebody tell me. 2018? Oh, hey-oh, sleeper. Titans have a major role planned for Treylon Burks, as they should. When is the last time you won, Nick? Surely it's more recently than 2014, because I won in 2015. Then was it JD after that? JD after that. You won in 2017, and then Rip won in 2018. And then he who should not be named has won 3 times. I think really solid up and down the board. Running backs, maybe a little questionable. A.J. Dillon seems to be kind of splitting the load. That's what it sounds like with Aaron Jones. I really think Edmonds is a good player. I think he should be good. Just got to hope that Dalvin stays healthy. And Aljair pops, but I think there's a lot of potential in the running back room as well. So I'm going to give Nick a solid. Lance is a little unproven to me. I'm not a believer in Lance, so that's kind of where I might deem him a little bit. So I'll give Nick a solid B+. I think he is probably a playoff team as well, because he's one of the best in-season managers around. And he'll make some moves. He'll flip some of these wide receivers, maybe shore up the running back room a little bit and make something happen. So we'll give Nick a solid B+ there. Good draft for Nick. Good job, buddy. Scamp. So next we got Discount Double Check. This is the owner who
just upset over finishing second in the ratings again. Ooh. I guess I have to take you at your word. Number 2.
Excuse him, what? Number 2?
Actually was second place in the mini golf final standings. His running backs are Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Devin Singletary, Alexander Madison, Kenneth Gainwell, Isaiah Spiller, and J.D. McKissick. So a lot of young guys, and a couple old guys. Where are you going to find this kind of analysis anywhere else, fellas? Nowhere. Just your commish right here, baby. His wide receivers are Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Smith, Deebo Samuel, and Romeo Doubs. And then his quarterback is Jalen Hurts, and tight end is Darren Waller. Very solid draft from Rip. I'm a fan of it. I think Henry is a beast. Great value there to get him at 4. I was a little surprised that Nick didn't go for his hometown team. I guess we know who the real Titans fan is in this league, and it's not Nick. To be able to pass over King Henry like that for Dalvin. His 2 keepers were Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel. Tremendous value. Some of the probably the 2 best keepers in the league, at least before the season starts. His running back 2 is obviously a little shaky. He's really got to bank on Derrick Henry having that RB1 start. Phenomenal king shit start to the season that he had last year before he got hurt. Because Breece Hall, a little unproven. Seems to be a little bit of a timeshare early on. It's the way things are leaning. And they have a tremendously tough start to the season, the Jets do. And that line is not good. Bottom third probably in the NFL.
Let's go, Serena.
Oh, yeah, Serena's about to play. But, I mean, that wide receiver room's easily top 3 in the league, if not top 1, with Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, Devontae Smith, solid wide receiver 4. And Dubs, who knows? I mean, he's got a lot of preseason hype, but then Roger started kind of talking shit on him. So, great value for Waller in the 5th, tremendous quarterback in Hurts in the 6th. Was really hoping he was going to fall to the back half of the back of the 6 at 6-12. Didn't happen, unfortunately. I don't know that. I feel like Nick probably would have taken him if Rip hadn't, but
I guess we'll never know.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's a really solid, really well put together team. Outside of the RB2, it's a little scary. Like I said, I mean, maybe McKissick gets hot. PPR league. If the team, the Commanders really do hate Antonio Gibson, then we could be looking at a lot of work for JD. But Spiller looks like he's going to be buried. That's a pick for next year. Kenneth Gainwell could make something happen. Madison, I've heard maybe some rumors of some trade talks for him. And Singletary, you never know. I mean, he is still the starting running back for probably one of the best offenses in the league. So, definitely some potential there for sure. He took enough dart throws to kind of cover his bases. Maybe would like to see him take another wide receiver, but whenever you have those 3 to start, I can see how you can neglect the running back or the wide receiver position. So, I do like this draft. I think I'll probably give him a it's a tough one. Might give him a A- as well. I think I'm gonna give him an A- as well. I think I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna knock mine down to a B+. Just kidding. No, I'm gonna keep it as an A+, A-. A- for me, C- for Savoy, B+ for Nick, A- for Rip. That's where we stand so far. Next, we got the Cooter Gain, JD, former champion. We have a lot of champions. I mean, we had 4 out of the first 5 picks were champions. And then you had a horse ass. So 2 horse asses, actually. Take that back. 2.5, kind of. Nick was an honorary horse ass one year. But he started out with Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor, Damian Harris, Rashad White, and Raheem Mostert. Wide receiver, he's got Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith, Tyler Lockett, Hollywood, Devontae Parker, DJ Chark, and Corey Davis. His quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, tight end, Greg Kittle. His keepers were Jonathan Taylor and Hollywood. Pretty good value. I really thought he was going to end up keeping Burrow late. I think it was like the 13th round. Ends up taking Burrow in the 6th round. But, on the flip side of that coin, Hollywood probably would have went in the 5th, looking at the board. Maybe even the late 4th. So, it's still good value there. But, I mean, obviously, he kept what probably would have been the 101 and Jonathan Taylor in the 2nd round, mid-2nd round. Great value there. His 1-2 combo there of Najee and Jonathan Taylor. Arguably the best 1-2 in the league. But then you got Damian Harris, rumors of who knows. But last year he's probably one of the best RB2s in the league. Rashad White, that's cut bait, terrible. But I do think Raheem Mostert could have some value this year. As a little flex guy, throw him in on the bye weeks, maybe get you, 8-9 points and not kill you. So I do like that pick late for JD. I probably should have taken Mostert instead of Khalil, but oh well. And then, his wide receivers start to get a little sketchy. Obviously his top 2 are Hollywood and Deontay Johnson. I think those are solid. You got a little bit more question marks in Juju and Tyler Lockett. Can Juju recapture the magic that he had in those early years in Pittsburgh? He does have a good quarterback throwing him the ball now, but he's already been banged up a lot. Feels like he's got some degenerative type of stuff with his body. It's just kind of breaking down where he's getting fluid drained out of his knee all the time. And Lockett, he's got Teddy Two Gloves. No, not Teddy. Geno Smith throwing him the ball. I don't know. I feel like that's really going to hurt his value, but Lockett, boom bust. I mean, he's going to win you a couple weeks. He's going to kill you a couple weeks. So it's a little sketchy, but Devontae Parker, we'll see. Could be a good solid late guy. Chark could be a good late guy. Corey. These guys just aren't sexy. Devontae Parker, DJ Chark, Corey Davis, older veteran guys, wide receiver 2 on their teams. It's just it's not a lot to get excited about. There's not a lot of sex appeal to this team. You know what I mean? Outside of Hollywood maybe and Deontay Johnson. But Kittle got hot late in the season. Of course, after I didn't have him on my team. That's the way all these elite white tight ends do. They don't do shit on my team, but they do great afterwards. But we're going to break that curse with Freiermuth. We're going to break that. Whatever. Kittle probably be fine. I'm sure he'll probably bounce back. So I think a solid draft from JD. Don't love it. Don't hate it. I'll probably give him a B-. Probably give him a B- for this draft. I think solid. I think he'll be competing for a playoff team again this year. Rip, I think will be a playoff team as well. I think fringe playoff team. It wouldn't surprise me if those wide receivers hold him back and keep him from the playoffs, but we'll say maybe right on the door. I'm not going to maybe say he's a playoff team, but he's going to be knocking on that door. I might come back and retroactively give him a playoff team as we get deeper into the draft. So, Jesus, we're already at 30 minutes in. I'm not even halfway through. How about that? Well, kickers' lives matter. Not a lot to say here. I'm going to rip through Duncan's team because he ripped through his team. He was asleep for half his fucking picks. You got Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs, Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, Mark Ingram, and Tyrion Davis-Price. Wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson, Treylon Burks, Tyler Boyd. Then that's it. I do like his wide receivers a lot. Actually. Turn that down. Unprofessional. I'm sorry. I apologize.
This is Serena's last freaking U.S. Open. Okay?
It's not going to be her last game. She's going to win.
I hope she wins, but this is still her last U.S. Open. I'm going to enjoy this. Sorry, but tramped in your style. Now,
All right.
what you doing?
Carrying on. Josh Jacobs in the second was just a stunner of a pick. Absolute stunner of a pick. But, you look at the way that the draft started, though. I didn't hit on this. The first 9 picks were running backs. 10 out of the 12 picks in the first round were running backs. Unprecedented. This is freaking, 2006? It's crazy. With Mixon there, I don't know. He didn't have any running backs on his team that he kept. He kept DJ Moore and Justin Jefferson, solid 1-2 at the 4-5. But I don't know. His running backs, he really needs Jacobs to do something. But Josh McDaniels is a terrible coach, terrible head coach. He's proven it. I just have no faith really in many Raiders players outside of Devontae Adams. Jerry Jeudy, solid. We'll see if he can pop with Russ. Treylon, I think, will have maybe a little bit of a slow start, but I think he could potentially be Jamar Chase. I don't know if he's going to be that level. Probably a little bit better, and even at a better value. But, his running back room is pretty shit outside of Mixon. Kareem Hunt could probably be a pretty solid RB2. but he doesn't even want to be there anymore, so he'll probably kick somebody in an elevator or something and get kicked off the team again. His tight ends, Dawson Knox, Mike Gesicki, and then Aaron Rodgers at the QB. I think I'm really curious to see how Rodgers does.
Hey, Roger! This guy double check!
Without Devontae anymore, without that safety blanket. I think he'll still be fine, probably low-end QB1. Gesicki, terrible pick. You need to cut him. He's a bust. But I do like Dawson Knox. I was really hoping that he would have fallen to me at the 8-9 turn, but he did not. So it is what it is. I mean, I think he'll be have a good year. But yeah, it's tough to knock Duncan too much for having, he does have DJ Moore and Justin Jefferson. But I really, outside of the picks that he actually made during this draft and weren't keepers, he didn't have many good ones in my opinion. So I think it's probably worse than Savoy's. I'm going to give this probably a D. I'm going to give this draft a D. I think we have a contender for horse ass right here. Duncan, D. D for Duncan. Hey, how about that? Next, we got the Cataclysmic catches. Wet Willie. He got Nick Chubb, David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, and Chuba Hubbard. That's it. Wow. Only 4 RBs. Chubb is solid. Probably would have gone Kamara there if I was him. David Montgomery, though, I mean, that's a solid, unsexy, but a solid 1-2 punch there, running back. Miles Sanders probably won't do much. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll recapture the magic that he had in his rookie year, but probably not. And Chuba, whatever. You're really banking on McCaffrey to get hurt, and even then, he probably won't be the guy. You got Donta Foreman there, so easily one of the worst running back rooms in the league. Probably. No, you're not the worst. But you're one of the worst. Wide receiver, you got Mike Evans, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, Mike Williams, Mecole Hardman. Leaving the draft, I thought that Wilson actually had a pretty good one, but now that I'm looking at it again, a little bit more sober, I don't know that I love this draft for him. I think Mike Evans will probably be fine, but who knows how much time Tom Brady's going to even have to throw those deep bombs because his offensive line is a wreck. They're all in a hospital ward. He didn't take another wide receiver until 7th round. So, I do like Robert Woods. I think that's good value. He did keep Cooks, and he kept Cooks, and who else did he keep? Did he keep Cooks and Mahomes? Son of a bitch. Bear with me. This will get cut because I'm running long on time. I'm going to cut this. Note to self. Cut. Cooks. Mike Williams. That's who he kept. Cooks and Mike Williams. So those are good. I glanced over Mike Williams because he has such a unoriginal Madden create-a-player name. But between Mike, you know what? I'll take that back. Actually, I'm gonna take that back, Wilson. I was unfair to you. Your running back room is shit, but Mike Evans, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, Mike Williams, you can make something happen with those 4 guys. You can certainly make something happen with those 4 guys. Gallup might be a little bit slow getting back in for covering from the ACL, and Mecole, whatever, dart throw, got to get your guy for the Chiefs. Always takes a Wilson. Wilson does. Zach Wilson late. Cut bait. See ya. Does have Patty Mahomes. Again, got to get your guy. Go Chiefs. And Dalton Schultz, I think, in the 5th is good value as well. So, because there's really no other pass catchers in Dallas outside of CeeDee Lamb. So, not terrible. I'm going to give this draft a solid C. I think a solid C for Wilson. I think that's what he got last year. So, good job. Not a playoff team, but good job. Swamp Donkeys. Went Saquon Barkley. Again, interesting decision to pass over Kamara. Damon Targaryen Pierce. Michael, got to get your guy. Damon Pierce, got to get your guy. I've been missing the got to get your guys. I'm sorry. I just clicked that I need to be saying that. Michael Carter, Travis Etienne, and Cam Akers. Those two were his keepers for the year. So wide receiver room, you got the Praise the Sun, Amon-Ra, Sun God. Kadarius Toney, got to get your guy. Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins, Darnell Mooney, Isaiah McKenzie, and KJ Hamler. Quarterback, you got Josh Allen, and tight end, you got Kyle Pitts. So way early. We had a very quick run on tight ends in the front end of the second round. 3 of the first 5 picks in the second round were tight end. So, I mean, Blaine is all about having fun this season. That's what he said. Last season took quite the toll on him mentally, physically, emotionally, sexually, everything, you name it. And I think that it's easy to say that, hey, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to pick the guys you want. And it's not that big of a deal, right? Just hanging with the bros, having fun. And come week 10, whenever you're fighting for your life to get into the playoffs, it's a little different. So, but I do think Blaine will be right in there in contention with this team. Wide receivers leave a little bit to be desired. Definitely some question marks there. Ayuk obviously was supposed to break out last year, did not. Amon-Ra did, but he did break out whenever a lot of players, Swift, Hawkinson, weren't playing. Toney can't stay healthy. Hopkins suspended the first 6 weeks, but I think Mooney was tremendous value there in the 9th. Can't believe that he lasted that long. McKenzie is a little bit hurt. Hamler should be a good little turn and burn guy. The running back room is pretty questionable as well. But Cam Akers and Etienne, I don't really know what either of those two guys are going to be, but that late, hopefully they pan out. Michael Carter is probably going to start the season as RB1. Damian Pierce is RB1. And if Saquon can recapture that magic, he'll be doing pretty good because, Pitts could easily be tight end 1 this season, and Josh Allen probably will be QB1 this season. So I think a very solid draft for Blaine. If he can just weather the storm those first few weeks, first maybe half of the season, I think he can position himself for a deep playoff run. So I'm gonna give him a solid B. I do think he's a playoff team. What's up, Loki? I'm gonna give him a B. I think Blaine's back on track here to get back into the playoffs. So keep rolling along here. We got the Dirty Birds, our back-to-back champion, 3-time, three-peat, never been done. Connor Plunk started out with Alvin Kamara. Then he went Rashad Penny, Melvin Gordon, Naheem, got to get your guy, Naheem, and Gus Bus Edwards. So really neglected running back heavily after getting Kamara. Just totally was saying, I'm avoiding the dead zone. And I can't blame him because you look at the running backs that went in between the first round and maybe the 6th, 7th round. There wasn't many, and that was for good reason because there wasn't many good ones there to pick from. At wide receiver, he's got Allen Robinson, Eli Moore, Jamar Chase. Hey, Loki, stop. Alan Lazard, Julio Jones, Rashad Bateman, and Alec Pierce. His tight end is Mark Andrews, and quarterback is Lamar Jackson. So, well on his way to questing for a four-peat. Obviously, being able to keep Jamar Chase in the 5th, tremendous value, one of the best value picks in the entire draft. And Rashad Bateman late, good little dart throw late, probably would have gone a few rounds earlier than that based on how the draft board fell. But, Alan Lazard could be the wide receiver 1 in Green Bay. Eli Moore, he's really just got to hope that Zach Wilson doesn't play quarterback for the vast majority of the season for Eli Moore to do anything. Good shot on Allen Robinson, I think. I think that offense can definitely sustain 2 wide receivers as long as Matthew Stafford stays healthy and his elbow doesn't fall off. Julio could pop late, and Alec Pierce is a good little sleeper pick. So he's got a lot of hype coming out of camp. Rashad Penny is your RB2. That's fine. I mean, that's fine. As long as he stays healthy, I think he has a chance to be a high-end RB2, maybe even a low-end RB1. The only worry there is will they get run out of games where they have to throw. So, Melvin Gordon, whatever. Naheem, solid pass catching back, and Gus should be fine coming back later in the season. So, yeah, another solid draft from Plunk. I think well on his way to another playoff berth easily, barring injuries. We'll give Connor give him a B+. Can't give him an A. We'll give him a B+. Next we got.
What the hell was that?
Volcanic eruption. May I present to you my spy in the Ministry of Defense?
Fat Bastards Ford. He started first wide receiver in the first round. First wide receiver officially drafted. Devontae Adams. You got Stephon Diggs, Scary Terry, George Pickens, MVS, KJ Osborne, and Jarvis Landry. I really like what Ford did with his wide receivers. I mean, I think they are some extremely solid options, and really the backbone of his team, because Lord knows he needs it, because once you turn your eye to the running back room, we're looking at the worst running back room in the league. Not even close. His two keepers were Stephon Diggs and Javonte Williams, but his running back room is Javonte Williams, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Ken Walker, Brian Robinson, R.I.P., and Pierre Strong. So probably two of those players will be playing in week 1. The rest probably won't. Clyde will probably be stuck in a timeshare. Clyde's just not the guy. And it's okay to be not the guy. He just is a role player. And that's okay. You just got to know your role. I really, I was close to having him. If I didn't have 3 stud running backs, I maybe would have included him on the redemption team after the way that he hurt me. So, but chips didn't fall that way. So he's not on my team, so he's not going to be part of the redemption story, and he's going to suck ass again because that's what he does. They have a better pass catching back now there in Jerick McKinnon. You got Isaiah Pacheco who's going to be taking the goal line work from him. I just don't see a way for Clyde to perform even at a consistent RB2 level. I do think Javonte has a great year and helps carry his team as a fringe RB1. And then you got, Kyler Murray at quarterback, solid. Cole Kmet, solid upside there, late. One of the great late tight ends in this draft. But Osborne's a wide receiver 3, Landry's a wide receiver 3, MVS. They did give him a lot of money, but, he's got a lot of wide receiver 3s on his team. I like a lot of those guys, but they're wide receiver 3s. But Stephon Diggs, Adams, and Terry McLaurin, that's one of the best trios of wide receivers in the league. I will give him that. So I think if Ford can do something with the running back room, if Ken Walker gets healthy and establishes himself as a dominant third down back or something like that, I think something could happen here. But as it stands right now, I think he's maybe knocking on the door of the playoffs, not quite in. So how many teams do I put in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's one more. So I got 2 fringe playoff teams, a couple teams who aren't going to make it. So next year we got our newest addition to the league, Shade's Shadynasty. Welcome, Mr. Shade, replacing Forrest Smith after his one-and-done year. Thanks for wasting our time, Forrest. No hard feelings. Understand. It is what it is. I think Shade will be a great addition to the league. He's already busting Duncan's balls a couple times during the draft like he was a seasoned vet. I love to see it. So I'm excited for Shade to be a part of the Bring That Wood, and I think we've got our 12th member for years to come. I think we're going to keep this this 12 group together for decades is my hope. So he started out with Aaron Jones. He got Tony Pollard, Leonard Fournette, and did he get James Cook as well? I think he did, right?
He did. Okay.
Huh?
I'm just trying to get you to speed the process up. I'm sorry. Like, I want to be in this. I'm sorry. You gotta hurry up. Speed it up.
Eric says I gotta hurry up, so sorry guys. Yeah, I think he took James Cook. Let me pull up the electronic draft board. I mean, the more you keep interrupting me, the longer it's going to take. I think I was mistaken with Blaine's team earlier. He did not have Michael Carter. He had Sky Moore. And he had Russell Gage instead of Mooney. So he had Sky Moore instead of Mooney, and he had Gage instead of Carter. So, whatever. It's not going to change my assessment of his team. So, Shade, though, he had Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, James Cook, Lenny, Michael Carter as his running backs. Pretty solid. I mean, Fournette and Aaron Jones, I mean, those are two potential RB1s. Pollard can probably have some positive touchdown regression this year. And Michael Carter is the RB1 on that team, as I just mentioned, for Blaine. Because, he comes into the league, and he's already making a draft day trade to be able to keep 2 ninth-round players, and Mooney and Fournette. He trades with Blaine his 8th round and his 12th round pick, 11th round pick, for Blaine's 9th and 10th round picks. So love to see that movement. Way to be active. Way to go get your guys. Wide receivers got DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, Drake London, Sky Moore, Russell Gage, Jalen Tolbert. Kind of where we fall off the rails a little bit. Not Russell Gage. You got Mooney. Not a big fan of his wide receiver room. I don't believe in Amari Cooper. But it's solid. I mean, it's a solid. He's got Kelsey there as really his kind of wide receiver one. And Dak Prescott and Trevor Lawrence to round it out. Oh, and Hunter Henry. So always got to get 2 tight ends and 2 quarterbacks, That's the way it works. So I think solid. I think a solid team for D. Shade for his first year, and certainly much better than Forrest. That's good. That's not saying much, but that's good. I think might be a fringe playoff team. Definitely not competing for the horse ass like Duncan. And did I give Ford a grade? I don't think I did. Ford, I'm going to give Ford a C+. I'm going to give him a C+. D. Shade is going to get a B-. I'm going to give him a B-. Fringe playoff team. He's really only 2 really bad teams on paper right now, I think, and that's Kickers Lives Matter and EDP 445. So, and last but not least, we got Mr. Salvatore, doesn't contribute. He started off with receiver, got CeeDee Lamb, got T. Higgins, Hunter Renfrow, Chase Claypool, Jacoby Myers, got to get your guy, Jahan Dotson, and Joshua Palmer. And then running backs, we got Zeke, Eli Mitchell, Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, and that's it. Quarterbacks, you got Tom Brady, Justin Fields, and tight ends, Albert O. And I got to say, I think Savoy and Craig easily had the best sticker placement of any of the teams. Not a single one crooked over the lines. Nick's was solid as well, but he has a little crooked. Goddard was a little crooked. I'm going to have to give the edge to Craig. Immaculate sticker placement. Immaculate. Yeah, good job, Craig. Hey, if you do nothing else this season, good job on the sticker placement. That's some grade A work right there, buddy. Good job. running back room, obviously the Gibson pick looks a lot better now with Brian Robinson being hurt. There's just no way that they don't give him more work than what they were going to. I think Zeke and Eli is your 1-2, very solid. He kept T. Higgins was his only keeper. But Renfro, as unsexy as he is, I mean, as your wide receiver 3, you're going to live with that every day of the week. CeeDee Lamb looks like he's primed to explode. T. Higgins, solid wide receiver 2. And then you got a lot of depth. I mean, Claypool can pop, Jacoby can pop, Dotson, a lot of potential, a lot of talent there. And same with Palmer. So, I think really solid at the running back and the wide receiver room. We'll see if Tom Brady can hold up. But if not, he's got Fields waiting in the wings. I think really the only weak spot is tight end. I think he waited just a little bit too long to take a tight end. I don't believe in Albert O. The reports out of camp have not been great. And I don't know that he has the true top-end talent to be able to overcome such a weak tight end. But I do think that he gets back in the playoffs this year. I think a very good draft for him. I'm going to give him a B- as well. That's it, fellas. Hogs are playing tomorrow. If you're watching this, you're probably watching this on Saturday. Because I don't know how long this is going to take me to edit it, but I'm planning on staying up all night to edit this, or till whenever it's done. Playing Cincinnati, ranked matchup in Fayetteville, 2:30. Get your piss hot. Playoff team from last year. Lost a lot of players, but I like the Hogs. I like the Hogs big. And, other than that, good luck for this season, fellas. State of the Union, the first official State of the Union will be coming in just a few short days. Less than a week, we'll have the first official State of the Union. So, something to look forward to. Football's here, baby. We're back, baby. Football, woo! Let's go. It's here. It's finally here. It doesn't feel real, but it's here. Everybody, good luck this season. Everybody stay safe this weekend, and go Hogs. And as always, whoop big.